I were to just go in every time and just try to hit 275 on the bench, and it'd just be like some days it would move, some days it wouldn't, some days it'd be faster than others. Whereas when he takes a look at a routine and properly periodizes it to get me to peak at a certain point, to get me to hit a PR at a certain point, and each week progresses in different ways, that's what allows me to gain a lot of strength.
Good morning, Coach Josh and Coach Kyle. I wanted to ask a quick question. So about 1 to 2 months ago, I hit a 1 rep max of 345 on deadlift. Now it seems that I've hit a brick wall and the 315 isn't even moving that good. I'm struggling to get the weight up consistently and I'm confused why. My diet has gotten better since my 1 rep max. My other PRs are making good progress and my workouts have been going smoothly. Do you have any advice on what I could do to try to get through this brick wall or any idea why this is happening?
Very good question. And my first thing is going to have to be just the programming. I know we've talked a lot about that, but there's some days you're feeling it and some weeks, and it's like very different. And like when it comes to compounds, something Josh is a specialist at, and he does for all my stuff, is like it's progressive, right? So like, if I were to just go in every time and just try to hit 275 on the bench, and it'd just be like some days it would move, some days it wouldn't, some days it'd be faster than others. Whereas when he takes a look at a routine and properly periodizes it to get me to peak at a certain point, to get me to hit a PR at a certain point, and each week progresses in different ways, that's what allows me to gain a lot of strength and actually similar to all of our clients. And I see a lot of people struggle because they're always just trying the same things. Like, for example, if I were to say, hey, what weights have you been doing? To a lot of people, it's like 3x8, 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 3x8. And they've just always been trying close to their max. Whereas like for something like us, our routine, it might be like 75% of our 1 rep max for this first week. We might go to 80% for the second week. We might go to 82.5 for the third, and the reps change within that. I don't have an exact example, but the point is that it's progressing. Week 5, volume will go up a little bit, then it'll go down a little bit. Like there's things happening, and that's where like I have a lot of other tips that I'm sure Josh will say, but my first thing is you need to be on a proper routine and not just like doing random weights and picking what you feel and, whatever you feel makes the most sense on that, because that's where I see a lot of people struggling personally.
Yeah, deadlifts are really hard and it can be hard sometimes to actually pull that weight and be consistent with it. And if your volume's all messed up and your routine isn't progressive, as Kyle said, I'd say that's the easiest thing. As for the loss of strength, and imagine when the diet was cleaned up, maybe some weight was lost. One of the easiest ways to really feed your lifts and to actually be able to lift a lot heavier is to eat more calories, be in a surplus. So some people will have this challenge where when they lose some weight, like maybe you lose 10 pounds, maybe you lose 40 pounds on your deadlift. So when I'm in a cutting phase, I really make sure I program against that to try to maintain my strength, if not increase it as I'm cutting. And of course it's a challenge, but with intelligent programming, this can absolutely be done. So it's hard to just throw shots in the dark as to why this is happening. Some other things I would say is sometimes with powerlifting, it'll be really weird. You'll have 2 lifts I find that will really go up where one will be kind of stagnant and not move. And as long as you're not getting stronger in 2 out of the 3, I do find that third one will eventually level out. If you are noticing it really starting to die out, you need to analyze and try different things. Deadlifts are funky because normally with lifting, you want to do more volume to see more strength. Sometimes deadlifting less can actually feed that deadlift, and instead doing intelligent programming around it, that's going to feed into that deadlift and really isolating where you're weak on that particular lift. So if your lockout sucks, you might want to put more effort and energy into glute training and avoid doing really taxing, intense deadlifts where you're going to destroy your central nervous system and really be exhausted. But you can actively improve that weakness in the lift to improve that lift and do less volume to have more ability in your other lifts, which also will feed into it. A good squat will feed into a good deadlift, vice versa. So this is where you can get really in the weeds with it, and there's a lot of different things to be aware of. But I do find self-analysis too of where you're failing on your lifts or where you feel you aren't as strong, and really targeting that weakness and blasting through it is one of the fastest ways to actually see more strength. Outside of that, you can always bulk. That's another great opportunity. And then next, you can play with frequency, and maybe you are doing it once a week. Like I said, that level of energy you put in has only gotten you to this 345. It might take you going twice a week or playing around with kind of the schema of how you're doing it, doing some speed deadlifts to really battle that. It may take more accessories to feed into that compound. So there are a lot of different considerations, and without me getting more into the info here, it's harder for me to really jump into that. But It's something we absolutely love doing. We've coached dozens and dozens of people their first powerlifting win, which is absolutely amazing. We've obviously banked quite a few ourselves, which we're really proud of. So no matter what your goal, we'd be happy to get you there. And if you want to learn more about our coaching, 25% off. Last chance to do it. This ends April 1st. So if you reach out then, you can still message us. Unfortunately, this won't be available. But if you're catching us in March, be sure to click that link, fill out an application, because we look forward to transforming your life. I want to thank you for tuning into this podcast today. We wish you a fantastic day. Hope it's full of energy, great lift, and some progress. If you like this podcast, share it to your story. That'd mean the world, or share it to any position of media. It really does go a long way and it helps us grow. Let us know you loved it as well. So thank you for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.